Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all safe and healthy. So today I'm back at the AlSaber Cars Company to take a look at the 2022 model of the Range Rover Evoque, and in this video I'll let you know everything about the Evoque from the interior to the exterior, and at the end I'll let you know if it is a good buy or not. And before we go ahead with the video, I just wanted to give a big thanks to AlSaber. So to show my appreciation, I want you guys, the viewers, to go ahead and follow them on the Instagram page. The link will be in the description below, and let them know on the latest post that you came there after watching my videos, so that in future I'll get access to more of their cars, and they do have a really nice collection. Do take a look at them at their Instagram page. And if you're watching this video from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the location link for their showroom will be in the description below, so do come here and check out their collection. They do have premium collection and non-premium collections as well, so there's something for everyone, and that's all I wanted to say. And if you're new to the channel, guys, do leave a like and do subscribe to the channel as well, and do turn on your notifications so that you'll be the first ones to know when I upload later videos. And now let's take a look at the Evoque. Alright guys, so here it is, the 2022 model of the Range Rover Evoque, and let me talk about the models that we get here in Saudi Arabia first. So in Saudi Arabia we have the base Range Rover, and it comes in three variants. So we have the base version, then we have the Range Rover Evoque S, then we have the SE, and then we have the R Dynamic, which this particular model is. And in R Dynamic again we have three variants, so the S, SE, and then the HSC. And for the 22 model year, for the R Dynamic, there is a new extra model as well. It is called the HST. So it is kind of like the more sportier version of the standard Evoque. It has a much more powerful engine than the standard Evoque over here, and it does have some extra bit of kit as well. And then you also have a special edition called the Autobiography, just like you get on the bigger Range Rover. That is in Saudi Arabia though, but I don't know about the other markets. It might be available there as well. So let's talk about the price over here, and the price of this particular car is 310,000 riyals. I'll convert it into dollars for you guys. Just keep in mind that the prices here in Saudi Arabia are higher than the US markets and European markets because of import tax and VAT tax as well. So now let's talk about the design of the Evoque, and this particular model is the R Dynamic S. So S is like the lowest trim, and then you have the SE and HSE like I told you. But this particular model is very nicely optioned. Most of the kit that is that comes as standard on the SE and HSE is optioned for this model, so that's why the price is a bit high when compared to the HSE if you just buy it as it is, because the HSE does have a lot more standard kit than this S model over here. So let's talk about the design, and this particular car over here is an Eiger Grey. It's I hope I pronounced it correct, but it is called Eiger Grey, and it is a metallic paint, but for some reason it doesn't show up on the camera of my phone that well. It has a bit of a yellowish tint to it because outside it is sunset, so that's why that yellowish tint is coming here as well, but it is called Eiger Grey. Then you have the Range Rover badge written proudly over here, and you also have your standard grille design with the Land Rover badge. And by the way, as you can see, this is in grey color. If you do want, you can black it out with the black package or shadow package. It is called something like that, but you can black them out along with these silver accents over here. These bronze accents that you get on the R Dynamic model, they will be blacked out as well if you go for the black package. Then down below the grille you have an extra vent, which again feeds air to the radiators inside. And then the headlights are over here, and I do like them a lot, and this is how they look when they're turned on along with their indicators. So it has sequential indicators, and since this is the S model, it has the premium LED headlights, but you do have the option for the matrix LED headlights as well. Then down below you have these bronze accented air vents right over here. This you get only on the R Dynamic model, which you can see the badges over here, and they are functional vents. You can see the radiator behind them. And then down below you do have some black trim along with the parking sensors. Then here on the lower bumper you have another air vent with the R Dynamic badge and your radar sensors for your safety systems as well. And overall I think the front design of the Range Rover Evoque does look pretty nice and clean, and it is a lot better than the previous generation of the Evoque. Then let's move on to the side. You can see we have some more bronze accents on the hood along with the piano black over here, and then you have a lot more on the side as well. If you do not like these color accents or the bronze accent, you can black it out. And here is how I knew this is the S model and which engine this particular car has. So P200. We'll talk about that later on. Let's take a look at the wheels or the rims. So this particular model has the 20-inch diamond turned wheels or rims, and they're sitting on a 235 section tire with a 50 series sidewall. So it has a nice chunky sidewall, which will obviously give you a nice ride quality. And by the way, you also have the option of getting a 21-inch rim as well, but I think the 20-inch rims do look pretty good, and I think you don't need to upgrade to the 21s. The 20s are good enough. And then you can see the brake calipers right at the back, and with the HST model, the brake calipers are in red color. So that is the only difference over there. Then moving down the side, you can see we have the retractable door handles, which I do like a lot, and that's how they close. And if you want to unlock the car, that's how they unlock. So you have keyless entry and go. Then here's the fuel efficiency. So 13.4 kilometer per liter, which is excellent, and it does have a 2-liter 4-cylinders. Basically all of the Range Rover Evoque models have the 2-liter 4-cylinder, so the fuel efficiency will be really good. Then we come to the rear wheel. So the rear wheel is the same size as in the front, so 235 section tire with a 50 series sidewall and the 20-inch rim, and that's about it. And this is how the rear of the Evoque looks. You have Range Rover lettering in the middle, and then I do like the tail lights a lot because they do have a kind of a 3D finish, and you can just take a look over here. And then here you have your Evoque badge and your Land Rover badge. Down below you don't have any fake exhaust, by the way. You do have I think these are your reverse lights, and you do have some grey trim. You do have some functional vents, it looks like, and they're covered with the bronze trim. And you do have a fake diffuser design. It is not functional, it's just there for design purposes. One more thing I wanted to show you is the clear side camera right over here. So I hope I can just show it to you clearly. So the clear side camera is usually mounted on the shark fin antenna, so that's how it is used. And now that we're done with the exterior design, let's take a look at the boot space. So to open the boot, you can either use your key fob, which is right over here. So standard Range Rover or Land Rover key fob, nothing new. Or you can use a button in the interior. You can use a button over here. But let me check if this has the gesture control for the I don't think it has, so let's just use the button over here. So you have an electrically operated boot, and it is a pretty decent size, and you have 472 liters of space, which is like 16.6 cubic feet behind the second row of seats, by the way. And if you fold down the rear seats, you get 1156 liters of space, which is 41 cubic feet. Again, pretty impressive for such a small SUV. And let's take a look at some of the features. So you do have a 12-volt socket here, you do have LED lights, you do have some netting on the side, you do have some hooks here as well. Underneath the boot floor, you do have your spare wheel with all the toolkit you need for it, and you do have some tethering points as well. So I think that's all there is to show in the boot. Let's take a look at the engine bay. So here's the engine bay of the Range Rover Evoque, and in terms of engine, we have only two options here in Saudi Arabia. We have the P200 and the P250. This model has the P200, and as the name suggests, the engine produces 200 PS or 195 horsepower, and you have 320 Newton meters of torque, which is 236 pound-feet, and it is attached to a 9-speed gearbox, and it is obviously all-wheel drive. And by the way, all the engines that you see in the Range Rover Evoque are mild hybrids, so in places that you need an extra boost for overtaking, the electric motor that is there with the engine will give you a 15 horsepower boost so that you can overtake more easily, but that's it. And since it has all-wheel drive, the whole package, which is around 1845 kilos or 4067 pounds, goes from 0 to 100 in 8.6 seconds, and it has a top speed of 216 kilometers per hour. So pretty good overall, and don't expect it to be a super sporty SUV because most of the Range Rovers are meant to be driven in a relaxed manner. You can leave the sportiness to the competitors like the BMW X2 or X1, the Mercedes GLA, the Audi Q3 and Q4. So those are the competitors for this, and they are definitely a lot more sportier than the Range Rover Evoque. But again, like I told you, if you do want more power, then you do have the R-Dynamic HST model. It gets a P300 engine, so 300 horsepower, and it is a bit more sportier than the standard Range Rover Evoque that you see over here. So now that we're done with the engine, let's go on and take a look at the interior. So here's the interior of the Range Rover Evoque, and this particular model has this two-tone cloud and ebony leather. And let's talk about the door trim now. So the door trim over here has this kind of fabric kind of finish, but it is, I think, plastic, and it is soft touch, by the way, so it does feel high quality. Then you have a fabric material right over here, which is nice and soft. It's not leather. The leather is on this side on the armrest, but it is really nice and soft. You do have a silver trim right over here along with your door handle, and you have a lot of piano black on this side, Then here you have your window controls, side mirror controls and central locking, and the mirrors are foldable by the way. Then down below you do have more soft touch material along with your speaker grill and a decent amount of storage over here. Then here you can see we have the R Dynamic logo, and these are how the seats look, which are basic Range Rover comfort seats, and they are electrically adjustable along with your lumbar adjustment as well. And over here you have your electronic parking brake, your button to open the tailgate, and your brightness adjustment for your speedometer. And here you can see we have the latch to open the hood, and those are your pedals. So now that we're done with the door trim, let's take a seat inside and I'll show you around the interior. Okay, so I'm in the interior of the Range Rover Evoque, and let's start up all the systems. You have your start stop button here, and you can see you have the retractable 10-inch infotainment display, and we have this part digital and part analog instrument cluster. If you want, you can get a full digital cluster as well. It is optional. Let's first talk about the interior design, and I think the interior design is really nice and clean. You don't have any fussy buttons all around, but that obviously means you have a lot of controls integrated into the screens as well. We'll come to them later, but first let's talk about the quality. And the quality up top on the dashboard is really nice and soft. You have that kind of like I told you, fabric feeling material, but it is I think injection molded plastic. Then you have this fabric material right over here, which is again really nice and soft, and I do like the pattern on it. You have this like a diamond pattern on it, which looks really nice. Then here are the air vents, which go all the way to the end, and they do look pretty good with the silver trim around them, and they are nicely damped as well. You have a hazard button right over there. And now let's talk about the controls around the steering wheel. But first, the steering wheel itself is really nice and high quality. It's not very chunky or not very thin as well, and I do like the design. It is something they introduced in the new Velar first, and then they brought it down to all the other cars as well. Behind the steering wheel you have your light controls, your windshield controls, and on this side you have your electric steering adjustment as well. And then you have this metallic paddle shifters at the back over here, which are really nice. Then on the steering wheel itself you have your cruise control settings right over here. This particular car does not have the heated steering wheel. And then you have your media controls here, so favorite button, call button, that controls your radio station and your voice assistant as well, and this is for your volume control. And now let's talk about the digital driver's display. So in the center, as you can see, currently it's showcasing a map. If I press this button over here, I can go through different settings as well. So I have a trip computer right over there, a media source, a vehicle that shows you your tire information and stuff. Then we have the information panel, so I can basically like go through different settings over there. So I can display a speedometer like this, or if I want, I can display some driver assistant stuff, a map, a trip summary, media, and basically all that stuff. So that's your driver's display. Let's move on to the central display now, and this is basically a 10-inch display. You have two 10-inch displays over here. But this one is a retractable one, and you can adjust the screen angle from inside the display as well. So if I press that, you can see it comes up, and if I want it to go down a bit more, I can do that as well. So pretty nice and intuitive. Then you have your home screen button. You can do the layout and stuff. So it's basically the latest PV Pro system from JLR, and if you want a more in-depth view on it, you can watch my video on the big Range Rover or the Range Rover Velar or the Jaguar F-Pace. I have explained this system in detail over there, but you do have your navigation and Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, all that stuff over here. In the below display, you have your climate control settings and vehicle settings as well. So you have your drive modes like Eco, Comfort, Grass, Gravel, Snow, then you have Mud, Ruts, then you have your Sand, and you have an Auto Terrain as well. We'll just keep it on Comfort. Then here you have your volume control, and moving down you have your gear selector for your 9-speed automatic, and you have this aluminum trim over here, which is blacked out by the way. This is the older style of gear selector. Nowadays they have a newer style, which I think is a lot better looking than this one. Then here you have your Range Rover or Land Rover badge, and you have your cup holder right over here along with your 12-volt socket. Then in the center you have your armrest, which is nice and soft by the way, and you do have a decent amount of storage. You do have your 12-volt socket here as well, and two USB ports. One is a USB A and the other is a USB C, and you also have the place to install a nano SIM for your 4G connectivity or 5G connectivity. Then here you can see we have the glove box, which is a decent size, and it is lined with felt. Up top here you have your frameless rear view mirror with the clear side camera which I showed you in the exterior walk around. Then here you have some lights which are touch sensitive, by the way, and you can control them like this, and they are full LED, so pretty nice. And you can see we have a full panoramic sunroof. I'll just show it to you. We have a full fixed panoramic sunroof. You cannot open it, it's a fixed option, but if you do want, you can get a opening one as well. And then you have your sunglasses holder right here as well. Then here you have your sun visors along with your vanity mirror and your LED light. And now let's talk about the space. So the space inside the cabin is really nice. I do have a good amount of headroom, and these seats are really nice and comfortable. I am 6'4" or 195 centimeter, so that should give you some idea for comparing your heights and how comfortable you would be in this seat. Also, the visibility all around the SUV is really nice, and I think it would be really fun driving it on the road. But I think that's all there is to show in the front. Let's take a look at the back seats now. Okay, so here's the rear door trim, and here's the ambient lighting. I forgot to show you, but you do have ambient lighting in this car as well. And the door trim is similar to the one in the front. You have all the same materials like this injection molded plastic, your fabric, your leather, piano black, all that stuff. And you do have a decent amount of door storage over here as well. This one, the audio system is the standard audio system, but if you want, you can get a Meridian audio system as well, but it's an optional extra. And these are the rear seats and how they look. So let's take a seat inside and we'll check out the space over there. Okay guys, so I'm in the rear seat of the Evoque, and the knee room is pretty tight. That's to be expected. This is a very compact luxury SUV or crossover, and most of the SUVs in this class don't have a lot of space at the back seats for taller passengers. I was very comfortable in the front seats, but the rear seats, when I have them set according to someone of average height, you can see how much knee room I have. It's basically next to nothing, and I couldn't sit behind myself directly because as you can see, the front seats do come back a lot when someone tall as me is sitting over there. I think it will be very hard for even an average sized adult to sit behind me as well. So space is a bit less, but overall I think the cabin does feel a bit airy just because of this panoramic sunroof right over here. The windows are nice and large, and you can see this in particular has accessories fit to it, like this hook over here and this coat hanger over here. Generally speaking, these seats are really comfortable. And now I'll just show you the headroom as well. So as you can see, I do have a good amount of headroom. Even my cap is not touching the glass, so that is something pretty nice. And usually I don't have a lot of headroom in this compact luxury SUVs because most of them have a sloping roof design, but this Range Rover does not have that, and I do have a good amount of headroom. Just the legroom is a bit disadvantage, but overall I think these seats are also really comfortable for someone like me who has a larger body size. And generally speaking, two aside can sit comfortably, but for the passenger in the middle row, he will have a bit of a tough time because you do have a hump in the middle floor as well, and the middle seat is a bit higher than these seats, so it might be a bit uncomfortable. And since the Range Rover Evoque is not a very wide SUV, sitting three together will be hard. And let's talk about some of the features around the cabin now. So back here you have your air vents for the passengers, but no 3-zone climate control or 4-zone climate control. It's only a 2-zone at the front. Then you do have some seat back pockets, and then you do have an armrest as well. So I'll just show it to you. So the armrest is nice and soft with your cup holders. I wish they were covered, but that's fine. Overall, I think I'm pretty impressed with the Range Rover Evoque, especially in these rear seats and how much space I had. I didn't expect to have this much space even in the Range Rover Evoque, because it's one of the biggest complaints for the Range Rover Evoque that it does not have a lot of space inside. But I think if you're an average size person and you have an average size family, you should be fine in the Range Rover Evoque. And I think with that I come to the conclusion of my video. Overall, I think the Range Rover Evoque is a really nice SUV, and it does have a lot of good features when compared to its competitors. And I think it is a really nice city SUV, and with how many I'm seeing on the street, I think it does drive well as well. I've seen a lot of reviews and read a lot about it, and the driving dynamics are pretty nice. So basically it's more on the comfort side than the sporty side, and I think in the city that's all you need. So overall, I think you should highly consider the Range Rover Evoque. But first you should take a look at the space for you guys. Again, I'll repeat, if you're average size, you'll be fine. If you are tall as me, like 6'4", you will have a bit of a hard time in the rear seats, but you'll be fine in the front. So that's all I had to say. And if you enjoyed the video guys, do leave a like and do subscribe to the channel as well, and do turn on a notification so that you'll be the first ones to know when I upload later videos. And thanks for watching guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, and bye bye.